Welcome back. This is Daybreak, and thanks for staying with us. The hashtag on X is Citizen Daybreak. The SMS code is 22422 at Citizen TV Kenya and at Ayub Abdikadir. On my far right is Wycliffe Omonde, who is the co-founder of Bupas. Mashari Angati is the founder of 254 Agency. Pauline Wamboi is the representative of the Special Interest Group from Kibra. Sami Mwendwa is founder Green Cities from South Bay. Frederick Okinda, founder the Com Green Solutions from Korogosho, all who are targeting young Kenyans and getting them involved in meaningful activities. So, Sami, I do understand that you graduated 10 years ago and you have not focused on formal job, for instance. What were the reasons, and so far, how many young people have you empowered through the job creations?
Yeah, that's true. I did graduate back in 2012 from JKUAT with a bachelor's degree in BCom Finance. After job searching, there are no jobs. If you get a job, you feel like you're not satisfied, because when you're leaving campus, the expectations are very high, but the market is very different. The job creation that is currently in the country is very low. It is not commensurate to the number of the graduates that we have. So after the challenges, you need to think outside the box, come up with an idea, and try to monetize it and create employment. As of now, I haven't yet created a big impact in terms of creating a good number of opportunities, because youths wako wengi pale nje. So as of now, in my organization, partially, not full-time jobs. We have like 5 youths that I'm engaging. And the group is big. It's almost 120 members. Yeah. But the ones that I'm engaging, like I can say, in a month, I can maybe give you something. It's like 5. Yeah. But we are many outside there. They are graduates. Even I understand at Com Green, they're also graduates. But on that level, they're using their skills. We are working with them to try and create these opportunities. So the skill that I have, you come with your different skill. Okay. We join hands, so we get that platform that we can create more jobs. Like now, we do trainings in nursery management. From that, you can go ahead and establish your own nursery, whereby you can be selling the seedlings. In waste management also, there are those who have those skills, but outside there, they cannot get those jobs. So when they come here, there are empowerment programs that we do engage through partnership with other non-government organizations and the government, whereby we try and bring out their skills and show them, other than you going for formal employment, through the informal sector, although there are no good structures in the informal structure to support community-based organizations, for example, we try as much as we can. We provide them with those few skills that us have learned through experience, for them to be able to also create employment where they are.
So Pauline, tell us then, in the day-to-day activities in Kibra, for example, who comes on board to help you? I mean, for water, you need provision. Who are you collaborating with, state, non-state actors, and how has this helped your cause? Pia unaweza zungumza Kiswahili.
Yeah, sisi pale sana niko kwa Soweto, niko Soweto East, kwa hii mradi ya affordable housing, ambayo sasa inaendelea hiyo project. Sana wale wanatusaidia ni serikali, inatusaidia kupatia vijana kazi. Tunaungana na serikali, tunakuwa na vijana wanafanya cash works, kuna offloading, kuna wale wanafanya kazi za mikono, kuna pia hawa wakumwaga maji kwa barabara wakati kuna koroga kwa site, vumbi iko nyingi sana kwa barabara, so lazima hiyo barabara imwagwe maji, ndio pia iwezeshe hawa watu wako kwa barabara wafanye kazi yao mzuri. So mimi kile naweza shukuru ni vile hii mradi ilikuja affordable housing Soweto East hapa Kibera, kwa sababu vijana wengi wameweza kupata kazi. Saa hii huwezi pata kijana kwa idle. Saa hii tayari wamesharauka. Kuna wale tayari hii asubuhi wamesha offload. Kuna wale saa hii wako kwa barabara wanamwaga maji. Pia tunahusisha pia mavijana kwa hii mambo na community health promoters. Wanaenda kwa households, wanaangalia wagonjwa. Na kila community health promoter anaangalia nyumba 100 households. So ukiwa na 10 community health promoters, hizo ni nyumba 1,000. Na wanapata pesa. Naweza shukuru governor, we are also working with the governor of Nairobi. Wanapata stipend ya 3,500. Wanarudi wanapata pia national government ambayo ni 2,500 ambayo inawawezesha kujikimu. Alafu pia inawawezesha, hawa pia vijana wanafanya kwa site, wanaweza kusave nyumba. Kwa sababu lazima usave nyumba. Kama ni bed sitter au mayouth, majority wanasema wanataka bed sitter, which is going for 60K. So huyu akipata hiyo 3,000 ama 4,000 weekly ama 6,000, anaweka kama 2,000 kwa mradi ya nyumba. So mimi nimeona at least serikali sana sana His Excellency the President wameweza ku create job opportunities. Hata mimi saa hii ukinipata kwa kijiji, naenda navaa nguo za kijiji, tunaingia kwa barabara tunamwaga maji.
Okay.
Yeah.
So weekly for you, your case is different. Leveraging on technology then, how has it helped in cutting on time and promote efficiency?
Yeah, thanks, Abdi. So before this, if you are to go to Mombasa or you are to go to Kisumu, let's say you're going to board your Easy Coach, you live here and go to buy your bus tickets to travel today or tomorrow. And when you're going there, you don't know which bus is available, what time is it available, and even which seat to take. So we saw that a lot of people waste time and money. So for instance, you waste time, you spend on fare to go buy a bus ticket, etc. So we decided, why don't we create a platform to enable people to book bus tickets, train tickets, flight tickets, and save them time and money. And beyond that, use locally relevant technology. So we are using USSD, which does not require internet. Mm-hmm. We are using mobile web view platform, which does not require a lot of data, and you can use it on your phone. And you, as a user, you are able to book your bus, train tickets, search, compare, and book and pay via mobile money. So when you go, you've booked your bus, you know what time it takes, you know which seat you are going to book. And beyond that, you are even able to book for another person. Let's say it's your house help, it's your school-going child, etc. So you are able to save more life. You are able to save time and money. And beyond that, our tagline is life without borders. So what we envision is transport is one of the ways to enable youths to access employment opportunities. For instance, you've talked about, youth starting very early. So for instance, us, we started when we were in campus, and we developed this technology when we are still students in the university. But, with access to transport, someone in the village, for instance, is able to buy their bus ticket to come for an interview in Nairobi. Someone here is able to send their parcel. If someone buys something online, is able to send their parcel to, a pair of shoes to Mombasa, etc. And that will enable trade and enable more jobs within the country. So that's what Bupas does when you're able to book your bus ticket, your train ticket, and even your flight ticket.
And Freddie, for your case then, how has your venture into your activity led to a reduction in crime rate, for example, amongst the young people in Korogosho? And has this given them a unified cause and hope in life to divert them away from what otherwise would have been activities that is deemed illegal? Microphone is down there.
Sorry. For instance, right now, like I've said before, so many youths are in crime, but through our activities, through this journey, it has not been a good journey for us, but we thank God through our activities, right now the government have realized that the youth from informal settlements can do something to change this nation. Like for instance, right now, through the Nairobi River Regeneration activity, which was launched by the president right now, last week at Kamkunji, the initiatives were undertaken by the CBOs in informal settlements have been realized by the government. So this initiative will impact the activities which the youth are doing right now.
So you are engaged on that basis. For example, when the president was there to commission that, I think it was in last year at the height of the rainy season. So you are engaged on those bases?
Let's say we were engaged because as you can see right now, after the launching of the Kazi Mtaani initiative, so many youths right now, they have, let's say they have some jobs to do in the informal settlements. And from Kamkunji to Korogocho, the Nairobi rivers have initiated zones in along all the rivers in Nairobi. Like Ngong River, we have 8 zones, Nairobi River 8 zones, and Mathare River 8 zones. So all the youths who are working along the riverine communities are being recognized by the government. But we can't say it's making some meaningful impact. But we think the days to come, things will be okay. But the youths who are working to reclaim the river, they need to be recognized by the government. Because without them, this project can't work. So the government needs to bring more resources to the youths in the informal settlements so they can see their daily activities being impacted by the government.
So at the moment, are they not paid?
They are being paid. But you can see right now the Kazi Mtaani initiative, we only have 20,000 youths only in Nairobi. But youths in Kenya, they don't have jobs. So the president just announced last week that he intends to add more youths in this initiative. You need to do it in a faster way so the youths can be involved in this initiative.
Macharia, is the environment enabling for your case? Is the environment helping you empower others as well and bring them on board?
Yes, of course. I remember the first promise this government made was to create employment for the youths. And through the Ministry of Labor, we've managed to mobilize the youths for us to be able to recruit them. Because, you know, our job is to get the jobs abroad, and then we get the candidates from Kenya. So the only loophole that's there is now the financing. You see, if these guys have to travel to maybe Dubai, they have to facilitate their transportation from Kenya to Dubai, their medical, and so forth. So what the government can do now, apart from mobilizing, is now to cater for the air tickets and also all such kind of things. Because you see, these are people from vulnerable societies. They can't be able to raise maybe like 200K to be able to facilitate the transportation. But so far, what I have seen is that the government has tried to partner with the corporates who does recruitment, and so many youths have secured jobs, and actually most of them are traveling. For example, for us only, we've managed to get over 10,000 demand for the youth. So I think the environment now, it's demand enabling. It's only a few fixes that are remaining for the government to do so that we can be able to get more people to work abroad and to even facilitate now the environment locally.
What are those pending issues that you want the government to resolve, for example?
like we have so many youths without passports, and now the passport charges, they increase to 7,500.
Yeah.
That is 7,500.
Yes.
Then these people who we are targeting, they are not able to raise. Most of them are not able to raise that amount to get a passport. And then the passport duration to be reduced to maybe 1 month from the normal 3 months. So that would be a good additional to whatever we are currently doing. Although I've seen the Labour Ministry have tried to secure that for the youth who are getting the jobs through us, they're able to fast-track the passports and they come out within 1 week, which is a good initiative by the Ministry of Labour.
Yeah.
And that has helped them secure the work contracts very fast.
Yeah. Okay. So Pauline, coming to you. Yesterday, the president was in Kibra, and we saw many young people coming out on a weekday. If these jobs are really meaningful, do the youth appreciate this? And why do we see, I mean, all this, the presence of so many young people around the presidential convoy and stuff?
Okay. Vijana si ati hawakuwa kazi. Mostly hata wengine walikuwa wametoka tu kazi. They were just excited by the handshake government. So walikuwa excited vile president alikuwa anakuja Kibra kutembea akilaunch mambo na dishi na county, ilifurahisha mavijana. Unaona watu wa slums, sisi uko excited. Sisi so long as president create job opportunities kwa ama youth, walijitokeza mpaka na vijiko za kazi. Si ati kusema juu walikuwa wameenda wengi hakuna kazi. Though wengine hawako kazi, but walikuwa excited. Walikuwa pia wanataka embrace the work that the president is doing. Na pia walifurahia sana pia mambo na ID card. Tuliona mayouth wengi walikuwa wameshindwa kuchukua ID. Juu ilikuwa ina cost, unalipa 1,050 ndio upate hiyo ID. So vile pia walisikia president amesema saa hii ID ni free. Manzema youth walibambika tu vibaya. Yeah.
And in appreciation of this, then, what happens, nini itafanyika when these housing projects, tuseme for example, itakuwa imeisha, and these houses are occupied, what happens to those jobs?
Okay. Unaona wakati hizi nyumba zitaisha, mradi ya rais ya president haiishi. Sasa tuko phase 2 ambayo ni zone B. Tayari tumesha hesabu zone C na D. So Soweto hakuna kazi inasimama. Because president alisema in 10 years Kibra yote itakuwa na affordable houses. So sioni kazi ikiisha. Immediately watu wataingia zone B. By next year najua watu tutaingia kwa hizo manyumba. I'm one of the beneficiaries of that project. Nitaingia kwa hizo manyumba. Zikiisha hii mradi ingine ya zone C na D, watu wanakuja kuhamishwa. Sasa hii wameshapigwa picha, wamefanywa enumeration. Sasa ni mambo na relocation. Watu wakishahama, contractor anaingia, wanaanza kujenga C na D. So hakuna kazi itasimama. Ikisha kuwa tena tutaenda 288. So mimi sioni kazi ikisimama. Labda ma youths wakose kufanya kazi. Kazi iko. Labda tu yule youth anapendanga kuhang. Otherwise kazi Kibira. Kama kuna area imefaidika na kazi ni Kibra slums.
So, Sami, how do we take this conversation forward? For instance, you have talked about 120 members. Yes. So, how many are on beneficiaries from, let's say, for example, monthly stipend? Ni wangapi wamefaidika? And how has this impacted their families and other dependents?
It will be difficult for me to ascertain how many have directly benefited from what we do. Apart from what I told you before, like 5 people, I am 100% sure. But also, through these government projects, these government initiatives, some of my members in my organization have been recruited. For example, in climate works Mtani, what my colleague Fred Okinda has just said some few minutes ago. If you look at these programs, these government projects, they are more aligned into tapping these unskilled and unemployed youth. And if you're going to, for example, in green economy, what the president is doing in 15 billion tree planting project, it's a project that also in climate works will be implemented. Because most of these youths, what are they going to do at climate works? Some are growing trees. Some are removing the debris along the river. Those are the activities that we used to do. If I can remember very well, the president was launching the river regeneration project at Korogocho, at Fred Okinda's place. There's something that he said very clearly, that is bringing these jobs for those people like us who are in community-based organizations that used to do these jobs for free, for volunteer work. And actually the president did that. The jobs came like 6 months ago, whereby almost 22,000 have been employed. From where I come from, in my division, that is South B, 450 are employed. And they do interns. Like for example, Sare constituency, they employed 900 youths. 450, they do in terms of like 2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks, they're paid. Another cohort comes in. 2 weeks. Yes, the government is doing as much as it can. The economy, we all understand that is not doing well. And employment is not a problem that has started today.
Okay.
But what the government is doing right now, I think it is doing it in a very good way, and we are going the right direction. Some few months ago, when we had the issues of Gen Z, talking about jobs, these youths that you see here that are being employed under climate works, ndio wale vijana tulikuwa tunaona huko kwa maandamano. And if you can realize, since climate works ilianzishwa na president, maandamano ya Gen Z imepungua.
Were the two related in your view?
In my view, it was related because the youth, they had a legitimate issue about jobs. Yes, they were unemployed. And understand, before this government, Kazim Tan was still there. But what we lack is the sustainability now of the program. As you've asked my colleague here, after climate talks,
what happens? That's specifically my point, because there are many young Kenyans who still today feel that the state has not done enough in terms of addressing their grievances, what they majorly made public in June last year against the finance bill and generally our governance. So what's the sustainability mechanism for you, for example?
We want now to tap into these projects. They're coming. For example, with growing trees, after 2032, the trees will still be grown. As an organization, we want to establish ourselves. Before then, we aim to be one step forward from where we are by benefiting into such projects. Like, for example, we would supply seedlings for the government, meaning we'll need to establish more nurseries to be able, 15 billion trees, sio miti kidogo. And I'm 100% sure the government is willing and is ready to partner with anyone. We cannot just sit down and expect the government kuleta.
Okay.
We are young, we are very energetic. Let's go out there, let's think out of the box, and the government has institutions that are willing to support us. In my instance, I work very close with KEFRI to get certified seedlings, seeds. I work with KFS. If I want to get that capacity building, I know where I can go. With Nairobi Rivers Commission, they have engaged us. For example, I'm a coordinator along Ngong River. As Okinda has said, we have zones. They have come, we have skills, and we are sharing those skills with them. And in a way, they are recognizing us.
Okay. Wycliffe, how have you leveraged on technology in the course of your push for jobs and given the circumstances that we are in at the time and the times economically? How has that helped you?
Yeah, thanks, Abdi. I think technology is the fastest way to accelerate job creation and more opportunity for youths. As you mentioned earlier, the main value proposition for Bupas is one, we save time and money. So if you want to go to book your bus ticket, train ticket, flight tickets, you are able to book it from the comfort of your home using your phone or any device, and you're able to save that. So at a micro level, look at it. Like today, maybe it takes you 1 hour to go to the CBD to book your ticket and come back. Today, maybe it takes you maybe 100 shillings, for instance. Today, Bupas, in its platform, we've onboarded more than 30 bus operators in Kenya alone. We've sold more than 20 million tickets, and we have close to 2 million active customers. So imagine, take that at a macro level. So you are able to pump, with just technology of efficiency in booking tickets, you're able to book 20 million tickets. You've pumped back 20 million hours back to the economy, assuming it takes 1 hour per person to book a ticket. So that 20 million hours of productivity is something massive. If someone was supposed to earn maybe, X amount per hour, that's money they've saved. So in the study done by Safaricom, it's estimated that 300,000 people use intercity transport every day. Bupas is currently booking about 20,000 tickets a day. So if we can get, more enablers, for instance, how can we enable more youths to become agents? So in Bupas platform, we have currently more than 1,000 agents. So if there's a program, for instance, where we can partner with, Ministry of Youth Affairs, we can partner with more campuses, etc. These students can be able to sign up as agents on Bupas platform, and they get commission for every ticket that they book. So it's a way to accelerate part-time income for students who are able to book for people who want to create jobs. If you look at, for instance, bus operators, before you had to be an agent of a bus operator to book a ticket. So you have to be like, a casual laborer, etc. But now with the technology, more people can sign up to be bus agents and book tickets from wherever they are. If you look at train, for instance, or bus, for instance, and even on top of that, we are enabling other businesses. For instance, if there's a conference in Kisumu or there's a conference in Kitale, we are able to tell a hotelier that's around there or a cab driver that's around there, these are the expected amount of travelers that are coming to your city. You are able to plan. And that hotelier probably is now able to hire more waiters. That cab driver is enabled to hire, more drivers to help them, etc. Okay. So Bupas is one of those technologies that actually accelerates youth employment and even creation of direct and indirect income.
Thank you.
And at scale, I think this can become much more massive.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And Macharia, in spite of all this, are we also forgetting another important component of our economy, which is agriculture, for youth to venture into that? And how do you look at it? Are we ignoring a rather economic contributory aspect of our economy, which is largely also driving our economic growth? And are young people appreciative of it?
The problem I see with the Kenya has a very vast unused land. If you go to areas like Maralal, you'll find very huge lands that are not used. But then the population in Kenya is meant to surround within Nairobi. If you go outside Nairobi, you go find scattered areas. Let's say Turkana, areas like Marsabit, Maralal, there. You find very huge lands that are not used. If the government could be willing to help the youths to get into agriculture, I believe that's something that they can do, because they would just be needing to provide water and security in the areas for these people to be able to venture into agriculture. So I think it's a viable thing for the government to venture into.
Yeah.
And then I think also it's upon the youth now to do the work for themselves, because if the government is not working for you, it's upon you to venture into the agriculture and start producing products.
Yeah.
Because we have a huge market, especially in Nairobi, for those fresh products. Because people will lean from the modified products that we are used to now the natural products that this youth will start producing from those areas. So that's an area that if the government would want to help the youth with, they would work very well, because in Kenya we don't have a problem of land. Mm-hmm. I've watched some documentaries on countries like Singapore, where they don't have lands, but they are still producing a lot of food, and countries like Israel. But here in Kenya, we have everything we need.
What's it that we're not doing right?
I think it's the leadership, because you see someone who is born in Kibra, for example. This person has never traveled to Maralal to go and see the opportunities that are there. So this person, mindset is fixed here in Nairobi. So the only thing they can think of is maybe to start a mayai business or whatever, everything that they see. You know, the society you are brought up in determines a lot about you. Mm-hmm. So if you are raised up in Nairobi, you'll only be fixed to learn things about Nairobi. But if you can travel from Kibra, travel to Kakamega, you'll be able to see a lot of opportunities that are there. And you identify some things that are in Nairobi and are not in Kakamega that you can bring from Nairobi and take them to Kakamega. They'll be able to bring you income.
Okay. Frederick, because we are talking about the impact of how many livelihoods you have touched. So far from your records, how many young people are now off their former criminal activities, and what are they doing which is gainful now to be responsible members of the society?
For now,
the microphone.
For now, the youths, which used to be the other side of their life,
yeah,
right now they are focusing on so many activities. Some of them, like you can see Sami here, we have so many graduates in the society, but unfortunately they were used to be in that life. But for now, through these activities, so many youths have really changed their lives. And what only we need for the government to do is to support these initiatives which youths are doing in their communities. Like for now, at Comb Green only we have 44 members.
Yeah.
And through these initiatives, we have bring so many youths together. We are creating bigger networks to do these initiatives. Like in Mathare, we have a Mathare River Regeneration Network, yeah, which we are dealing with the plastic waste. And also we have football for plastic. Mm-hmm. For you to register for this tournament, you only need to bring us your waste, which you have collected, and we take them to the market. And so for now, what the government needs to do for the riverine communities, before we used to be supported by so many organizations. Mm-hmm. The Nairobi River Commission, they need to work with these NGOs, yeah, so they can just add more effort to what youths are doing.
Okay. And the president talked about 50 billion thereabout. It's a big money, is it? Yeah. This entire Nairobi River project. Is this money really getting to you at the grassroots level?
For now, let's say we are not seeing the money. What they need to do at the commission first, they need to work together. Ndio hii pesa ikuje mashinani, wanafaa kuwork pamoja. Like you see venye president ali commission the commissioners. Sasa ameleta Bishop Margaret Wanjiru na tunashukuru sana venye amekuja, na tuko na Brigadier Joseph Murashia which anafanya kazi mzuri sana kwa community. Wakiwork tu pamoja, waweke akili yao pamoja, hiyo 50 billion ikuje mashinani, isikuwe ni shughuli ya ofisi, meetings. Mayouth hapa nje wanaumia na wana need hizi projects wanafanya pia waone mapato yao, jasho yao yenye wamemwaga wakivolunteer ikilipwa na hii kazi ya president. So tuna wish tu kazi itafanyika, na venye president amefanya kazi poa, na tunashukuru kwa hii pia kazi ya climate works. Hata juzi ukiona mayouth kwa sana Eastlands, ukiona venye president alikuja, vijana walikuwa kwa streets wengi sana. Na ukiangalia Nairobi peke yake, hii kazi ni 22,000 youths.
So it's still not sufficient.
Not.
Yeah. So what can be done? How are you then engaging the government agencies through your organizations to increase this number? Because if you look at the number of young people who are following the presidential motorcade, some arrested because of robbery incidents, how can this be resolved? How are you engaging the agencies of government?
In Korogocho, we are working closely with the administration, like our area chief, and through these initiatives, juzi president aliongezea cheo our former ACC, Mr. Yagan, saini DCC, through the initiatives zenye anafanya Roraka sub-county. So government pia ndo waongezea vijana, they need to work closely with the zone leaders.
Okay.
Ukiangalia zone leaders, tuko na hizi rivers, tuko na Ngong River, Nairobi River na Mathare River, na kuna coordinators. And ndio hii kazi iendelee vizuri, government also need to recognize the zone leaders, ndio hii kazi ifanyike vizuri.
Alright.
Bila hiyo,
yes.
Hata commissioners wanajua bila coordinators,
yes,
wenye wana coordinate hizi ma rivers na hizi ma youth groups, because informal settlements ndio kuna mavijana.
Okay.
Na vijana wengi pia wana need hizi jobs.
Okay.
Na wanafaa kupewa hizi jobs.
Okay.
Ukiangalia wakati ya maandamano, vijana wengi waliingia kwa streets, na some of them were being used na politicians.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So Pauline, there's another fundamental problem, which is a commonality in informal settlements, mambo ya extrajudicial killings, vijana kupotea. How are these, despite you mentioning that there's going to be continuity, how are these opportunities addressing that other problem of vijana kupotea ama kupotezwa, and then their bodies end up in rivers or somewhere because of what has been happening and what we saw in the country?
Okay, hiyo ni swali ngumu. Hii mambo ya vijana kupotea sitaki kuingilia sana, kwa sababu mambo ni nyingi. Tunaona mavijana wengi walipotea sana hii wakati wa hizi maandamano za Gen Zs. Na mavijana kupotea ni juu wengi wao walijihusisha kwa mambo ya kutetea rights zao. Na vijana kama wangekuwa na jobs, vijana wangeenda kwa streets. Sana sana unaona boy child au ama youth. Boy child ni mtu wa kucontrol. Boy child ukimwambia tuende pali fulani tukafanya madhambi, juu ana job na ana kitu ya kukula, utapata anaenda. So kile tunaweza omba hii gava, hizi mambo za extrajudicial killings at least ziishe. Mambo ya mavijana kupotea ziishe. Ama vijana wetu wanatakiwa kuwa mentored. Gava iwamente, iwapeleke trainings kama hizi za NYS. Sio lazima kijana akuati amefika form 4. Kwani akienda pale kwa ground na anaenda kukimbia iko na certificate. Si ukiniambia hata sasa nikimbie nitakimbia. So tunaomba gava create more job opportunities kwa ama youth. Our youth waletewe trainings. Tulikuwa tunaona kitambo mayouths kulikuwa na program kama hizi za SAPTA, ilikuwa inapigana na drugs. Naona vijana wengi pia wanaenda kufanya mambo zingine juu ya drugs, influence ya drugs. Hata saa zingine akienda kuibia mtu hajui ni juu kijana, sio kupenda kwake, ni ile ameinfluensiwa. Na pia hii peer pressure. Peer pressure pia nyingine inaleta shida. So mi kile naweza omba hii gava yetu create more job opportunities. Sana sana hizi kazi za climate. Vile mwenzangu amesema wadeal na mazones. Waache sana sana pia kudeal na machiefs. Wadeal na watu wanaishi kwa kijiji. Mambo kama hizi pesa zimetolewa za hii project Margaret Wanjiru anasimamia hizo billions. Wasiende kukaa huko kwa ofisi wanakunywa chai. Asianze kushikana na watu. Hiyo pesa iletwe kwa ground. Ama vijana wapate kazi. Wakati kijana kwa kazi hata sumbua mama yake. Hata mama analalanga vizuri wakati mtoto wake yako kazi. Lakini wakati mtoia yuko kazi, hawa mayouth, mzazi halali. Akisikia nduru anadhani ni ule mtoto wake, anadhani ameuliwa. So mimi kile naweza omba gava iangalie. Prezo alipromise kwa manifesto yake ya campaign, mayouth watapata job. Tunaomba hata hizi faces zingine zinakuja za hii mradi ya Kibra, tunaomba wale watoto wetu hapa wa hiyo kijiji. Hatutaki kuona mtu anatoka Kawangware anakuja kufanya kazi hapa kwa hii mradi zetu. Whereas tuko na vijana wetu ambao wanaweza fanya hizo kazi. Kuna kazi kama za supervision. Mbona isipewe ama vijana wetu? Mbona ipewe mtu wa nje?
Okay, wote ni wa Kenya in the end.
Yes, wote ni wa Kenya, but tunasemanga mtu anakulianga kwao.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sawa. Something is the next frontier, a venture into agriculture, a venture into climate activities, a venture into self-employment to create more jobs. And how is this going to transform our economy in your view?
First, I believe if the youths are employed, they have a source of income. The economy is going to grow. So I'm very positive. And how it depends on how we engage these youths. For example, there's a question we had asked me about what next after climate works. So these projects are going to, along, for example, these 3 Nairobi rivers, the activities that are going to happen along those rivers. Who are going to manage? For example, let's say Frederick Kokinda has a park along Nairobi River. So after the regeneration, after the project, after they've spent the 50 billion, who is going to be left to be running these parks? These youths, in my view, they can be given the management role, because we understand along the riparian it's government owned. They cannot, for example, get the title deeds, but how can they be safeguarded like in long run? Because currently what they're doing, for example, the climate works, is short term. We should think in a long term way. If we are going to agribusiness, it's a venture that has a lot of risks for the youth. For example, the way the climate is, you cannot depend on natural rains.
Okay.
You need to come up with ideas, creative ideas. For example, urban farming techniques. Small space, but you're producing a lot to reach the market. Because, for example, you're in the city, nyanya zitoshi. We don't have the space here in Nairobi. And if you look around the suburbs of Nairobi, there used to be agricultural lands. For example, in Kiambu, right now, its buildings are coming up. My colleague had said, yes, we have the spaces where, like things like infrastructure development, roads. We need better roads. For example, kama unapanda Kitunguu, Kajiado, you need barabara nzuri, ile yenye italeta products, for example, in Nairobi. And these youths also need finances.
Okay.
These businesses, kuanzisha agribusiness, it's not cheap. You need you need funding. You need like insurance.
Yeah, and is the funding right, especially because young people are part of the special interest groups, even in funding. do they have access to this funding? Are there bureaucracies that need to be addressed? And have you communicated with the right government agencies for this to be addressed? Because many young people decry getting that finances.
That's true.
Yeah.
The challenges are there. Yes, we do have these facilities for credit. Yes, the credit is there, but in kidogo. Let's, for example, I'll give you with an example with Asla Fund. It's in kidogo. Alafu also sometimes the credit reference like CRB. Most of us, the youth, unajipata tuko listed. It becomes a challenge for you to access those facilities just because of the policies that are there and the gap of implementation and the policies.
Okay.
It needs to be looked into.
Okay.
Ndio tuangalie kama vijana wanakam kuingia kwa agribusiness.
Okay.
Market iko aje? Mtu kutoka hapa mpaka pale. The government, not only the central government, the county government also has a role to play.
Thank you. And Wycliffe, we have seen innovation and innovators decry policies, including taxation and the regime taxation. Has this had an effect? Were there effects for you, especially in the innovation sector? As has been the case since money bills, the finance bills normally come up with raft of tax proposals that affect different spheres. And are the policies friendly from your perspective?
Thanks, Abdi. Yeah, I think the policies could be more friendlier. If you start with taxation that you've openly talked about, I think for young businesses to accelerate the impact to more job opportunities that we want to meet to enable more youths to get income, I think there could be better policies around taxation. For instance, if you go to many countries, for the first 5 years of business incorporation, you actually don't pay taxes. And that's to enable the organization or the startup to find its foot, be able to pay their bills so that they can be able to create more jobs. When that startup is successful or when that enterprise is successful, they're able to create more jobs in the long term. There are things like, PAYE, etc., that takes money from the business to taxation, for instance. If you look at complexities around incorporation, for you now to register your business, it's not just online. You have to do a lot of follow-up. You have to apply for tax compliance certificates and all this kind of stuff. And those are just hurdles or red tapes towards a successful business. If you look at, for instance, funding that's available, of course, there are ministries, etc. But you can't just knock into that door and ask, like, I need funding.
Okay.
There are processes and all those that you have to go. You have to know someone. You have to wait for the right opportunities and all those. And you find a lot of students, whether they are hackathons or they are just starting from campus or they're starting their small businesses, it's difficult to cross those. So I think in terms of policies, there need to be funding policies, there need to be better taxation policies, but also there need to be more empowerment or empowerment opportunities. For instance, there can be programs where you can train people who've started business about their financial management of the company. How do you monitor cash flow, etc. It always doesn't have to be monetary. Yeah. It can be that. It can be partnership. For instance, my colleague here is, talking about selling onions, etc. Can you create opportunities for them to access market? For instance, Bupas, now we are 30 bus operators, 20 million tickets, etc. How can we maybe partner with the government or with their policy that can help us, pitch our product much better to accelerate that access to opportunities? So policies can be much friendlier, and it can be both in terms of monetary to help with funding and reduce taxation, but also to empower so that, we as business or job creators can enable more job creation much faster than expected. Yeah.
Okay. And Macharia, is this also a problem on your part? We had seen young people also decry how, especially content creators, I'm sure you fall within the same bracket and sphere, decry some of the same policies. How can this be best addressed from you as stakeholder perspective and the policy players on the other end?
Number one thing is funding. Sorry. Like my colleague here said, that taxation hits the youth mostly, because when you start a company, you need to do the incorporation, which you have to pay 10,000 plus. To do the legal fee for doing that is also high, and then when you start paying taxes, you start to get a lot of calls from KRA in case you don't pay. So actually, in the Kenyan Constitution, there is somewhere where they say you're not supposed to pay the tax if your company is not more than 5 years old. But then you find that law is not followed anywhere. So it's just there. It's just written, but it's not being followed by anyone. So that one hurts or hits the youth very hard when they are trying to start a company. Again, is the issue of funding. It's very difficult to get funding in Kenya when you're a youth, because they go ask you about your credit score, which, of course, it's you'll find most of them have defaulted, especially as people who came from campus. We had help, and we didn't secure jobs immediately. So you find yourself being already in the, what's this board called?
Okay. Let's now sample, yes, please,
So you find yourself being already red flag. You can't be able to access any loan. But then when you hear the government officials going there, they keep saying there is Wezo Fund, there is Youth Fund, but then they have put a lot of gatekeepers for you to access those funds. So it becomes very difficult for you as a youth to start and grow a business. And that's why you hear people who have already grown business, they start calling the youth of Kenya, they are lazy. Yet they are not lazy. It's because for them they are able to access funds that these youth cannot be able to access.
Okay. Let's now sample the feedback, and I give you your final remarks here on the broadcast. The hashtag on X is Citizen Daybreak. The SMS code is 22422 at Citizen TV Kenya and at Ayub Abdikadir. Sir Nixon Dugure says, when young or youthful people find meaningful work, we all benefit. It's a big loss to the nation when they lack jobs and engage in unworthy acts. When young people are healthy and empowered, they become catalysts for positive change. Gode Barasaware says the short-lived job opportunities from the government to the youth won't solve the employment gap in the nation. The government should find credible ways of empowering the youth. Let's rethink. Bob again says youth should get involved in money-generating activities because there are no jobs out here, especially white-collar jobs, which are mostly admired by them. Remy Butia says addressing youth unemployment in Kenya requires a multifaceted approach that combines policy reforms, investment in education and skills training, and the promotion of entrepreneurship. Okelo Mwalimu says youth must learn to lower their expectations on politicians and focus on self-advancement. They shouldn't be cheated that a certain political team is more concerned about their interests than the other, as all major politicals operate on the principle of personal interests. So 1 minute each. I start with you, Pauline. Your final comments.
Okay. Mimi kile ningependa kumalizia ni kuwashukuru kwa kuni-invite, but pia ningependa kuongea sana na gava. Sana ningependa kuambia His Excellency the President aendelee ku-create more jobs. Pia ningependa Sakaja right now tuko na mayouths wengi ambao wamemaliza form 4. Tunaomba waingizwe kwa hizi kazi za community health promoters, at least waweze kujikimu kimaisha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Fred. Mike.
What I can just say, government needs to do something on job opportunities for the youths, because the youths are there. They are willing to to help the government.
Okay.
And also the government needs to work with these organizations.
Okay.
And the youths outside there. As you can see, the last president was in Islands.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Asante.
I've not finished yet.
Yes.
But politicians also, they should not have to use the youths
All right.
for their own benefits.
Okay. Yes, Sami.
Thank you, Abdikadir. Maybe just like my colleagues, just to address the government. For example, in terms of the climate talks that is happening right now, the stipend, the youth, wanasema ni kidogo. It's 500 shillings.
Okay.
I think that is below the government minimum wage. So it's a challenge to the government. As wanaongeza hizi 18,000 youths, they should also look into kuongeza mshahara.
Okay.
Ifike at least hata kama wataongezea 300, it's better for these youth. They need the money.
Thank you. Yes, quickly.
Thank you, Abdi, for inviting us and creating this. This also contributes to awareness on job creation, but also to encourage us that the challenge of job creation cannot be left to government alone. So I encourage each of us to partner. If you promote each other's businesses, so if you see a colleague buying something, creating something, you can buy from them. Okay. You can buy bus tickets, train tickets from Bupas to promote Bupas, but also we can also cross-sell across each other's platforms. So if you have an opportunity that you will want to collaborate with Bupas, we are more than open to collaborate. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, Macharia.
Thank you for the opportunity. What I can say for the youth is we have a problem of jobs in Kenya. So it's upon you to polish up yourself and your skills. And if you are not into the white-collar jobs, you have to brand yourself and become well-branded so that you can start your company and grow it. It's not easy to grow a company, but if you have persistence to do it, you'll eventually make it.
Thank you. Much appreciated, lady and gentlemen. Pauline, thank you so much for your time. Frederick, to you too. Sami, to you too. Wycliffe, to you too. And Macharia, to you too. Many thanks for your time as well, for waking up with us here on the broadcast. The hashtag on X, as ever, has been Daybreak, Citizen Daybreak. The SMS code is 22422 at Citizen TV Kenya and at Ayub Abdikadir. Thank you for watching, and thank you for waking up with us here on the broadcast. Good morning.